to be using a 3.5mm hook. I'm going to start with a slip knot. I'm going to chain 42, but you can chain any even number that you want. If you want your project to be bigger than mine, then you can crochet more of your foundation chain. Just make sure it's an even number. You can also chain less if you want it to be smaller. So I'm going to do 42. And then in your second chain from the hook, so this chain right here, do a single crochet, and I'm going to go into the back bump and do a single crochet in every stitch in the back bump all the way till you get to the end. Okay, when you get to the end of your row of single crochets, you should have 41 stitches. Okay, and then chain 2, turn your work, and then put 3 double crochets in the first stitch. Work my tail. So 3 double crochets go into that first stitch. And then you will skip 3 stitches and put a single crochet in the next stitch. And then you will chain 3, chain 3, and then put 3 double crochets in the same stitch where your single crochet is. So that stitch will have a single crochet, a chain 3, and 3 double crochets all in the same stitch. I'm going to cut this little piece of my tail off. I'm going to straighten that out. Now we're going to repeat that all the way to the end. So skip 3, then put a single crochet, chain 3, put 3 double crochets in the same stitch, this is what your work should look like. And repeat that all the way to the end. Skip 3 stitches, then do your single crochet, chain 3, do 3 double crochets in the same stitch, okay, go all the way to the end. Okay, when you get down to where you have 4 stitches left, you do your normal skip 3. The last stitch will be a single crochet, and that will be by itself. So after you finish that single crochet, you should have 10 of these little wave bumps. Okay, so when you get to the end, you will chain 2, turn your work, and in that first stitch where your single crochet from the previous row is, you put 3 double crochets. Okay, and now this is where it gets fun. You have these 3 double crochets right here. You skip the first 2, and in the third one, in the third double crochet from the previous row, right here, this one, we're going to do a front post single crochet. So you make the single crochet like you normally would, except instead of going into a stitch like that, instead you will go under or behind the post of that stitch. So a double crochet stitch has a couple of different parts to it. It has the front loop, the back loop, and then it has a post. So that's the post. So put your hook behind that post of that double crochet, then yarn over, pull through the back of the post. You'll have 2 loops. This is just like you would a regular single crochet. Yarn over and go through the 2 loops. So you just make the single crochet like you know how, except your hook, instead of inserting it through your 2 loops, goes behind that double crochet. And then chain 3. And now, because this is the same pattern from before, except single crochet goes on the post, and the 3 double crochets that you do, instead of doing them in the same stitch, you will do those 3 double crochets in this space back here that was made by doing your chain 3. So each one of these little waves has a chain 3 space. That is where all of your 3 double crochets together is going to go. And then each post next to that chain 3 space is where your single crochets are going to go. Okay, so we got our chain 3, we did our single crochet in the front post, so now we do 3 double crochets and go into that chain 3 space. Just make your double crochets the way you normally do. So put all 3 of them in that space. And now you go to the next little bump and you do the same thing. You go behind that 3rd double crochet post and you do a single crochet, chain 3, do 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space that's right behind that post. And keep repeating. So you see your cluster of 3, do your 3rd double crochet post, make your single crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space behind it, go to your next one, single crochet front post, chain 3, 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space in the back, repeat that. Do your front post single crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochets in the back chain 3 space, and repeat that till you get to the end. When you get to the end, there will not be a chain 3 space down here. So when you get your last 3 double crochets in the chain space, you will have 4 stitches left. 1, 2, 3, 4 chains left. So in the last one, because you're skipping 3, all of these had a skip 3. You just didn't have to count them because you knew you were going into the post. So single crochet in the very last stitch. There should be 10 waves. And now we're going to repeat that. Chain 2. This is a repeat pattern, so you just continue to repeat this pattern till you get to to the size. So if you're counting your rows, I am counting the row where we did our first pattern where we did the 3 double crochets and skipped. I'm counting that as row 1. I'm not counting the row of single crochets. So if you count the row, start counting with that row. 1, 2, 3. So the row that I'm working on right now is row 3. Here's one that I already did. So when you count your rows like that, count 21. When you get 21 rows, stop, because the 24th row is going to be different. So do 21 rows just like this row right here. 21 rows counting the first row. I have my 21 rows, and just to clarify how you count your rows, this is going to be the first row you count because I'm not counting the single crochet row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That is the last of the rows that we're going to do that have the chain 3 spaces. And now for the last, not the last row, but the last row of those stitches, we need to close it up so that when we do our last row, we don't have this big open space right here, because if we do another row just like this one, then this is how it's going to end. It's going to have these big gaps of open spaces right here. So you chain 2, turn your work. I'm going to start the same way that we did before, where we do 3 double crochets in that first stitch. Just like the other rows, we will do our front post single crochet, but instead of doing your chain 3 right here, you just immediately do your 3 double crochets in that chain 3 space. So this entire row is worked the same way as the 21 rows that you just did, with the exception of the chain 3 space. You just skip the chain 3 space. So after you do the 3 doubles, you just do your front post single crochet and then go into your 3 double crochets. Started to do my chain 3 out of habit. Muscle memory. So if you look, you can see the difference where by ending the row this way, you have a nice flat top across. But if you ended it this way, you have big holes. So keep doing that till you get to the end. Okay, so just like before, you're going to end with your single crochet at the end of the row. And that is the last of those special ocean wave stitches that we will do. Now we are going to do a chain 2. Turn your work and do a half double crochet in every stitch all the way across. So when you get done, tie off your work and weave in your end if this is your first one, because you're going to make 2. So once you get 1 done, tie it off, weave in your end, or you can just tuck your end inside if you want and make sure it stays on the inside while you're weaving your work in. So when you do your edge, you can have any kind of tail that you have on the inside. You can also have any kind of knot. So if you were using up some different pieces of yarn, or your yarn had a knot in it and you have a knot somewhere in here that you want to hide, then when you put your 2 pieces together, just make sure that knot is on the inside, or your tail, if you don't want to weave it in, is pushed into the inside. So we have these 2 pieces. Put your pieces together and then put your hook through the corner stitch . And then yarn over, pull through that, and then pull back through your stitch. Now we're going to do a single crochet all the way around the edge. So go into your next stitch. Up to the one on the other side, and then do a single crochet. We're going to do 3 single crochets on the corner. In the same stitch. And then we're going to do a single crochet all the way down. Make sure before you go too far down the row that has the holes in it, because two of your sides have just regular stitches, but the other two have these holes where your little fan 3 double crochets are. So before you get too far down, go through and make sure that you're matching up all of the holes on one side to the other, so that when you get all the way to the end, it's matched up evenly. Just go from one side of your trivet to the other side. One color to the other color. If you're having trouble figuring out where to put your stitches on the side with the little fans and holes, there's really no rule as to where your stitches should be. You want about 3 stitches in the space between the 2 holes. So the way I look at it is I put one right in the middle of the double crochet stitch that's on the edge. So put one there, and then I put one at the top of it, which is right below where the hole is. And then I put one right in the middle of the hole. So there should be 3 stitches there. So then here, I will put one right in the middle here. And then I will put one right here at the top. And then I'll put one right in the hole. Pretty easy to figure out where to put them on the edge, because you've got these nice little stitches here that show you where it should go. But sometimes when you have edges like this, it's a little more difficult when you're trying to sew the edges up. But you can pretty much put them anywhere you want, as long as it allows the 2 pieces to connect together and lay flat without being puckered. And back to the corner. Do 3 single crochets in that corner. And then keep going around. Keep going around and connecting your 2 pieces together with a single crochet. And on each corner, do 3. And we'll come back to here. Okay, I'm back to the corner, so I'm going to do 3 single crochets in this corner. This end has my tail, and I want to make sure that it's tucked inside. And I'm back to a corner. So I will do 3 stitches. And then now the last side is pretty easy because you've got all of your nice stitches to show you where to go. Okay, I have 2 stitches left. Okay, I'm going to cut my yarn, tie it off, and then I'm going to bring it over to the first stitch that I did. And I'm going to tie a knot right there. Hopefully it won't pucker too bad, but you will have one side that will pucker up more than the other just because that's the way the edge stitch lays. So I'm going to weave in my end. Since you have an inside, you weave your tail in, you can just go all the way through the middle and cut. You don't have to do the normal weave that you do with one of these because it's just going to be hidden on the inside. And that is a very thick Trivet hot pad. It's very soft and cushiony. You can use it as a pot holder, but it's going to be very thick for a pot holder, but you can use it for a pot holder if you want to. You can also make both sides the same color if you don't want it to be two-toned.